For over 1,000 years, the people of RuthKadiri, a river kingdom hidden between mangrove forests and red earth hills, lived under one unchanging belief: the fish was God. Not a spirit, not a messenger, but God itself. The great fish, known as Theoma, was said to be older than the ancestors, older than the river, older than death. Every dawn, villagers knelt by the riverbank, touching the water to their foreheads. "Theoma sees us," the elders would whisper. "Theoma feeds us. Theoma decides our fate." The fish never showed itself fully, only through signs: ripples without wind, glowing scales beneath moonlight, schools that moved like one mind. Children were taught never to question it. "A mouth that doubts the river," the priestess warned, "will drink poison." And so, for centuries, the people obeyed, sacrificed, and feared, believing the river fish held their souls in its fins. The laws of RuthKadiri were not carved in stone but sung during rituals. No one ate fish. No one swam freely. No one crossed the deep center of the river where Theoma was believed to rest. Each new moon, goats, yams, palm wine, and sometimes human blood, criminals or captives, were offered to the water. The high priest, Izmiri, would chant, "Take and be pleased, O scaled father." Fear shaped obedience. When crops failed, the people said the fish was angry. When a child drowned, they said the fish had chosen a messenger. Mothers cried quietly, never loudly, for loud grief was seen as an insult to the river god. Even kings ruled only by claiming to hear the whispers of the fish in their dreams. In the 1000th year, a child named Kalu was born during a violent storm. Lightning split the sky, and the river surged beyond its banks. The elders gasped. "A marked child," they murmured. Kalu grew with eyes too curious for his own safety. While others bowed, he stared. While others chanted, he listened for cracks in the words. One evening, Kalu asked his grandmother, "If the fish is God, who made the fish?" The old woman froze, her wrinkled hands trembling. "Never ask that," she hissed. "Questions like that drown people." But Kalu noticed fear, not reverence, in her eyes. That night, he dreamed not of a fish, but of chains beneath the water. As Kalu grew, strange things began to happen. Fish started dying near the riverbanks, an unthinkable omen. The priest said, "It is a test of faith." But the stench of rotting scales filled the air, and the river lost its glow. For the first time in centuries, the water looked ordinary. A fisherman, old Obesai, whispered to others, "If our God is dying, then what have we been worshipping?" He disappeared the next day. The priest said he was taken by the fish. But the fear in the village deepened, turning from holy fear to something darker, panic. One night, Kalu did the unthinkable. He entered the forbidden deep. The river was cold, heavy, and silent. His heart pounded as he swam deeper than any living soul had dared. Instead of a god, he found ropes, bones, and iron hooks embedded in the riverbed. Then he saw it, not divine, not glowing, but enormous, scarred, and wounded. The great fish was trapped, feeding on sacrifices, sustained by fear. And behind it, carved into stone, were ancient symbols, not prayers, but bindings. A voice echoed in Kalu's mind, not majestic, but desperate. "They bound me. They named me God, they fed me fear." Kalu realized with horror that the fish was not God but a created thing, bound by ancient sorcerers long before the current people were born. When Kalu surfaced, gasping, he whispered, "We have been worshipping a prisoner." The river behind him churned violently, as if the truth itself was shaking the water. Kalu told the elders everything. The council erupted in outrage. "Blasphemy," the high priest shouted. "The fish tests us through lies." Kalu replied calmly, "A true God does not need chains." Silence fell. Fear turned to anger. Kalu was seized, tied, and sentenced to be the next sacrifice, to prove the fish's divinity once and for all. As Kalu was thrown into the river, the water did not close over him. Instead, the river surged back. The great fish rose, thrashing violently, tearing at its bindings. The people screamed, "Our God is angry." But Kalu shouted, "No. It is not anger, it is hunger and captivity." Lightning struck the water, and the chains beneath the river cracked. With a final roar, the great fish broke free, only to collapse onto the riverbank, gasping, "Mortal." The illusion shattered. Blood flowed. Scales dulled. The people watched their god die like any animal. The high priest fell to his knees. Then, "Who have we been praying to?" No one answered. The river went silent. For days, no rituals were performed. No chants echoed. The river flowed without ceremony. The people felt naked without fear guiding them. Some wept. Not for the fish, but for the years stolen by lies. An elder woman said softly, "We fed our freedom to a creature because we were afraid to think." That night, ancestors appeared in dreams. Not angry, sad. "We bound the creature long ago to protect ourselves," the spirit said. But fear turned protection into worship. You forgot the difference. The ancestors warned, anything fed by fear will pretend to be a god. The people burned the river altars. The high priest removed his coral crown and cast it into the fire. "I was not a servant of God," he cried. "I was a servant of control." Children swam freely for the first time. The river did not punish them. Without the fish, the people struggled. There were no omens to blame, no god to appease. They had to face hunger, loss, and mistakes as their own. Kalu said, "A real God gives wisdom, not fear." The elders created new laws, not of worship, but of balance. The river was honored, not feared. Fish were eaten with gratitude, not terror. Life returned slowly, honestly. The river shimmered again, not with magic, but with life. Before dying completely, the great fish spoke one final truth: "I was never your God, only your mirror." Those words echoed through generations. Kalu refused kingship. "I only asked questions," he said. "That is not power." He became a teacher, reminding children that belief without truth is bondage. The old songs were rewritten. Where once they sang of fear, now they sang of wisdom. Where once they bowed, now they stood. Travelers came to hear the story of the fish god that was not God. Elders would say, "If something demands fear to survive, question it." The river flowed wider, cleaner. No chains. No blood. Only water. And so, after 1,000 years, the people learned the final truth of RuthKadiri. Not everything worshipped is divine. Not everything feared is powerful. And no true God is sustained by ignorance.